R.I.C.H coming right back at you. Today we talking about a relationship that people thought was broken, but was never really broken at all. I'm talking about Jay-Z and Jcole. And more importantly, I'm talking about perception versus reality. For years, the narrative has been simple. Jcole signed to R.I.C.H Nation and did not get the support he deserved. That was the story people ran with. That was the story people actually believed without looking at what really happened. Now fast forward and Jay-Z comes out and clears it up himself. He said there was never a lack of love or a lack of belief. He said he stepped back on purpose and let Cole find his way. Now that sounds good today, but back then it didn't look like that. Back then, it looked like Cole was on an island by himself. Back then, it looked like he wasn't getting pushed the way other artists were. And that is where this whole thing gets interesting. Because sometimes what feels like neglect is actually freedom. And sometimes what feels like freedom is actually a test.
Yeah. I never was comfortable with that anyway.
With being
an artist's expression should be their expression. I really fall back. That's what I think what happened with Cole. Like just the narrative around Cole is that we didn't love Cole. No, we believed in him enough to let him find his journey.
Yeah.
And he found his path. It took him a minute.
Yeah.
But he found his way.
Was that something that you had to learn yourself though too? Because Cole will tell the story about how like you wanted to sit him with Stargate and maybe think about that single.
Yeah, I was giving him a chance to take his talent and show it to the most people possible.
Yeah.
But his way. I didn't force on it. Say, here's this record from Stargate, and you putting it out like I forced Bleak to make Men Bleak. It was like, no.
I mean, I think that worked.
Bleak, my little brother, but he has to listen to me. You know what I mean? But like for Jcole, he has to find his own direction, and I'm gonna give him the tools.
Yeah.
I mean, we made big records with Stargate. They made humongous records. And on Rihanna and and even I think they made the Wiz Khalifa Black and Yellow.
Yep, yeah.
Biggest songs in the world. You don't want to go sit. Fine.
All right.
So I'm gonna present that, but I'm not gonna make them do it.
Yeah. What is your relationship with Cole like these days?
Obviously, there's things behind the scenes with, like artists and shit like that gets complicated.
Yeah.
But I think given a chance to prove that you're above board is an opportunity.
Word.
So I don't have any negative feelings for him. I'm actually super proud of him and what he's done.
It sounds like you're still, like, when you came in, we were talking about the mixtape, like you're still engaging with the work as a fan too.
Yeah, Clue sent it to me actually.
Oh, word?
Clue, not Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent it to me because he's proud, right?
Yeah.
Think about Clue, like he have like a resurgence behind it.
Yeah.
Now, when you see him speak on it, he calm about it. He's not defensive. He's not bitter. He's clear. He believed in Cole enough not to force him into anything. He believed in Cole enough to let him build his own sound. But here's where I step in and say this. Jcole might be the only artist in history who could turn that into a problem. Because we got to keep it real for a second. You are signed to one of the greatest rappers of all time. You have access to one of the greatest business minds in music history. You have access to the best producers, the best networks, the best rooms. And you decide to go the opposite way. You decided to stay grounded, stay underground, stay true to yourself. Now, on one hand, that's admirable. This is artistry. This is integrity. This is standing on your own 10 toes. But on the other hand, you got to ask yourself a real question. Why would you not take full advantage of that position? Why would you not maximize every resource in front of you? Why would you not take gain from somebody who already did it at the highest level? Because this ain't just anybody giving you advice. This Jay-Z. This is a man who mastered music, business, and longevity. This is a man who turned rap into $1 billion blueprint. And you mean to tell me you had access to that and you said, nah, I'm good. I'll figure it out. That's just not normal. That's not how most people would move in that position.
Before we do this, let me let y'all know that for me, in my head, top of the conspiracy list is I wish I knew what was going on between J. Cole and Jay-Z. I've been saying that forever. Yeah. These are two brothers that are holding it down in terms of whatever happened. Yeah. They holding it down. And boy, do I wish they would stop. But I just feel like if you saw the backstage doc that was where Hov was like the boy eating the cereal, like if your story starts from there, and then you find this dope-ass kid from North Carolina, y'all break all types of boundaries, y'all sell all of these, y'all do it. Y'all do it. Even if mutually beneficial is what I'm saying for both, to both of them.
Yeah.
Whenever it ends, that's what I be saying, yo. When any business relationship ends, if it was mutually beneficial and we all happy,
there should be no bad blood.
Let's go our separate ways. But yo, let me buy you a drink when I see you in the club.
Absolutely.
Let me put an ad lib on something. Send me a record. Let me hear it. Like,
you know, it don't
seem
really
closer to Pusha T.
Now, when you see that side of it, you start to understand the tension people felt. Not necessarily beef, but a misalignment in thinking. Jay-Z was thinking expansion. Jcole was thinking authenticity. Jay-Z was thinking scale. Jcole was thinking soul. And those two things don't always move together. Now, let's keep it real here. Jcole's way worked. He built Dreamville Records into a real force. He built a fan base that is consistent, loyal, and locked in. He became one of the most respected lyricists of his generation. So this ain't no failure story. It's a success story that just took a different route. But that don't mean we ignore the other side, because there's a real possibility that his career could have been even bigger earlier. There's a real possibility that he left certain opportunities on the table. There's a real possibility that he misread guidance as control. And that is the lesson right there. Sometimes somebody can have your best interests and you think they holding you back. Sometimes somebody can be trying to elevate you and you think they trying to change you. And by the time you realize it, you already chose your path. Now again, in this case, it worked out. Jcole has no regrets. Jay-Z has no bad blood. And from the outside looking in, everything ended up the way it was supposed to. But do not miss the lesson in all of that. Just because you do it your way, don't mean you should ignore wisdom. Just because you want to be yourself, don't mean you turn down elevation. And just because somebody is not forcing you, does not mean they are not helping you. And that right there is where this story lives. Not in the drama, but in the decisions. And the way you see decisions in the moment ain't always the way you see it later. Now that we understand the foundation of their relationship, we have to talk about philosophy. Because this was never about beef. It was about two men seeing the game differently. Jay-Z never believed in controlling artists. He believed in giving them tools and letting them figure it out on their own. That's not how the industry usually works. The industry usually builds artists into products, not individuals. But Jay-Z made it clear that he was never comfortable with that system. He did not want to hand somebody a record and say, this is what you putting out. He wanted the artists to make that decision themselves. Now on paper, that sounds like the perfect situation. Freedom, resources, and guidance all in one place. But freedom can be misunderstood. Freedom can feel like distance if you expect hands-on support. Freedom can feel like neglect if you feel like somebody is supposed to push you harder. And that is where Jcole comes into this. Because Cole was not looking for a blueprint. He was looking for a journey. He did not want to be built. He wanted to build himself. He didn't want to be positioned. He wanted to position himself. And that sounds powerful, but that comes with a cost. The cost is time. The cost is missed moments. The cost is not maximizing every opportunity when it's right in front of you. Now, let's talk about that moment right there. Opportunity. Because when you sign to somebody like Jay-Z, you're not just signing a contract. You are stepping into a system that can accelerate everything in your career. You are connected to producers who make hits for a living. You are connected to networks that you cannot open on your own. You are connected to a level of game that most people will never hear. And Cole made a decision and said, I'm going to do it my own way. Now, again, that's admirable. But let's not act like this is the most efficient way to win. The most efficient way to win is to learn from somebody who already won. The most efficient way to win is to take game and apply it immediately. The most efficient way to win is to combine your authenticity with experience. Cole chose a different route. He chose purity over positioning. And again, it worked. But it worked the hard way. Now, let's talk about the difference between somebody like him and Memphis Bleek. Jay-Z said, Bleek is my little brother. Bleek is somebody who will follow his direction without question. That's a different type of relationship. That is guidance that looks more like instruction. But with Cole, he didn't want that. And Jay-Z did not force it. So what you really had was a hands-off mentorship. And a hands-off mentorship only works if the student understands what they're being given. Now let's fast forward to today. No tension, no bad blood. There is no I told you so energy from Jay-Z. He said he proud of Cole. He still listens to his music. This was never personal. It was never a falling out. This was two men walking two different paths that started at the same place. And I'm going to take it out like this. Just because somebody does not force you, it don't mean they're not trying to help you. Just because you want to do it your way, don't mean you should ignore experience. And just because you succeeded, don't mean you maximize your position. This is the part people don't like to talk about. Success don't always mean you did it the best way. Success just means you made it. But when you look back, you have to ask yourself one question. Could I have gone further if I listened more? Now in Cole's case, he built something real. He built something authentic and he built it his way. But that does not erase the fact that he had access to something rare. And that's not wrong, but that's a decision that comes with trade-offs. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.